Hello, and welcome to High Five Live. My name is Malia Rioslazo, and this is my husband.
Jose Rioslazo.
We're glad to be here on High Five Live and thank Carrie Ann for allowing us to be here on Temple Tuesdays. And I am sorry it's going to be loud and crazy here, but we are in the San Juan, Puerto Rico airport. Hopefully you can hear me. If anybody's out there, tell me you can see us and hear us. But we are here just to chat for a minute. Our flight's taking off in about 15 minutes, or we got aboard in about 10 minutes. So we're just going to share a quick message with you about how the shores of Puerto Rico and temples can help us light our faith in Christ. And so we just want to share a couple of stories and talk to you for a minute. So hopefully you can hear us. Hello from Idaho. Hi, Idaho. You guys are probably a lot colder than we've been here in Puerto Rico. Also, let us know where you're tuning in from around the world. We'd love to see if you're in the hot or the warm part, or the cold part of the world. So, if you haven't been on a High Five Live video or seen one, go ahead and follow them, like them. They share awesome, inspiring messages. So why are we in Puerto Rico? So almost 20 years ago this month, in 1999, I left for my mission in Puerto Rico, and so I served there for 18 months. And this is the first time in 20 years that we have been back, or I have been back in Puerto Rico, my husband's first time here. So this has been exciting. We've been doing a lot of humanitarian work, fundraising prior to this, and so we came to deliver some of those things. We did some Christmas stockings that the community helped us with to light the community this month, so we've been working on that. So this week we were able to deliver stockings to a place called Las Casas de Todos. And it was really neat experience to see these children. They've been pulled out of their homes for domestic violence or drugs, or for whatever reason. These children are no longer with their families. And so when we walked in, there was a little boy, probably 4 years old, and he just ran right up to me and jumped on me like a little monkey and wrapped his arms around me and his legs around me, and I just held him the whole time we were there. And it's just a sweet boy with so much love, and it's just so sad that they have to go through such a terrible time right before Christmas. So I'm so grateful for all of you that have helped us to raise funds and things to help the children in Puerto Rico. So the other reason why we're on here is because we want to talk about temples. Of course, it's Temple Tuesday, and one of the things Jose and I both love to do is go to the temple. When we were dating, we went there every week, right? Every week before I left on my mission. We met each other 9 months before I left. We went to the temple every week. I served my mission, we wrote to each other. I took a picture in front of one of the mailboxes with my husband this time. Before, there's a picture of me on the mission looking inside the mailbox, and so that was kind of fun. And when we got married, we were married in the Los Angeles temple, and afterwards, sorry, it's loud, we're in the airport if you didn't figure that out yet. We volunteered in the temple. At the time, you could be a receptionist for women, and so we served once a month, and Jose was a bell worker, and so that was a really special experience we had before we started having children, and then we were no longer able to work in the temple. But here in Puerto Rico, they have had a lot of trials. As you know, they had a hurricane a year ago, actually 2 hurricanes, pretty much back to back, but the second one came in and did a lot of destruction. And while we were here, San Juan looks pretty good. In the bigger cities, it looks pretty good. In the Campos, which is like countryside, it doesn't look so good. We went Sunday to a lady in the wards, to a lady that lives here in Puerto Rico that I served with, and her house, the roof was still gone, and it's still gone. It still hasn't been built yet. So we'll probably be looking at trying to figure out how to help her get that. Well, not probably, we'll be helping to figure out how to get that roof on top of her house so she can move back into her home. She's now renting from somebody else. So they had a big hurricane come through, and President Davies was my mission president. He's now the first counselor in the presiding bishopric, and he came down here with President Irene after Hurricane Irma, which was right before the big one hit. And they had some destruction here, but not too much. But he visited here, and he said something that I really love. He said, "The Lord watches over his people. Everything will work out well if they will trust the Lord and be faithful." And that happened right before the second hurricane came, and that must have been so difficult to have that second one come. That, you know, everybody knows about what happened here in Puerto Rico. There was no water, no lights, nothing. And President Irene said that he challenged, he talked to them about how difficult things would be, and the grueling task of rebuilding fallen homes and businesses. And he said we needed to simultaneously rebuild our commitment in Christ. And we know at conference in October, one of the greatest announcements was all those temples that were being built, and one of those temples was San Juan, Puerto Rico, that there would be a temple here. And so that prophecy from a prophet, President Irene, that there would be blessings here is pretty remarkable. That quickly thereafter, in less than a year, they would announce a temple being built here in Puerto Rico. So although this area has been shook up, the Lord has great work for these people. So we're really excited, and hopefully we will be back for the temple open house or dedication. And so one of the things we wanted to share was a little story we had last night. So you want to tell that?
Sure. So being my first time here in Puerto Rico, we had heard about this different throughout the world. There's only 5 locations throughout the world where you have the opportunity to go to the bay, where you have these bio life forms which are luminescent. And so we went on a boat, and you know, we headed out to the water. It's about 50-minute round trip experience, and we got on the boat. There was 2 boats, one following the other, and while we were going there, a man said to, you know, remove all the lights because he needed to be able to focus and be able to know where he was going. So we were going there, and then he sped up a little bit so you can kind of, you know, feel the crashing of the waves and whatnot. So we finally get to the bay, and so the bay, it's called Parguero. And so, like I said, this is one of the 5 places throughout the world, and there's 3 here in Puerto Rico where there's bioluminescence. And so they got the boats kind of together. They kind of spread them up apart just a little bit, and then there was a boy that jumped into the water, and as soon as he jumped in and he started, you know, moving his hands around, then you can start to see the glowing coming from his body. And so the gentleman asked, you know, who wants to jump in? And, and I went in, and I asked the boy, is it cold? And I didn't really hear a good response, but I just went to the edge of the boat, and I jumped off and went into the water, and I came back up, and I think I swallowed a little bit, so I told my wife that I'm gonna start glowing tonight. But, so I started moving my hands around. I started egg beating with my feet, and you can see that life, you know, that's starting to glow all around me. So it was a pretty neat experience, once in a lifetime experience that I had here. And then I really felt it wasn't cold at all. It was really nice. The water was nice. So that was a good thing, because I don't really like cold water, but it was a pretty neat experience just floating around and swimming around and seeing my body and my feet, you know, glowing all around me.
It was pretty awesome to watch. I didn't jump in. They said there's jellyfish probably, so I was like, no, thank you. And it was pitch black. You couldn't see anything. That was probably the most scariest, going out there in the pitch black. But the interesting thing, as I thought about it that night, was that there was only glow when you moved. So when you're looking out in the water and there's nothing there, you don't see anything. It was only in movement. As you moved your body or hit the water or agitated the water, did you see this really cool glow? And you guys will have to look up on YouTube or something for pictures. They wouldn't let us take any pictures with, you know, we can use our phones, or you wouldn't see the light. And what hit me is this whole like the world right now, right? We know we're talking about, you know, sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ through the Christmas season and serving others. And I thought that's what Light the World is that we're in a world that has turbulence and the water's murky, but as we move our bodies, as we do things, as we serve together, especially together in communities, the Lord could make great light come as we move and push forward through this murky water. And so that was kind of a cool testament to me of the light, the world, and the importance of just moving forward. Just move, just paddle. You don't even need to swim far. Jose didn't need to go swimming far. He just needed to move his hands. When he jumped in the water was when it was the coolest, when all the water kind of sprang forward and the glow was big. And so he didn't see that part, right? When he jumped in the water, he wasn't able to see that glow. It wasn't until he was up and moving and he could see it. And so sometimes we don't even realize the impact we have and the light that comes from us as we live the gospel. I just wanted to share a quick last minute thought, as we need to board right now. But this morning we had probably the best experience of our trip. I didn't really have plans the last couple days. We were going by the spirit of what we could do, serve, or what we could do, just have fun too, you know, serving and having fun go really good together. So we decided to go to the west side of the island, which I'd never been to. We visited a family last night that I served with, and then went west to go see a lighthouse. Well, about 2 minutes before this turnoff happened, a thought came to my heart. Now I know it had to have been the Spirit. To look up the bioluminescent, I can't even remember how you say it, but I had heard about it, that it was super cool. My brother had done it before, and he said it was really neat. So I checked online really quick to see where the heck those were at, and the turnoff was like the next exit. And so I told Jose, turn here, we're gonna go check this out. And he's like, okay. So this is kind of how the trip sent me, kind of making last minute decisions. But we went there and ended up staying overnight there. And as we were on the boat, the Spirit was very strong, and it said, while we were flying through the water, you need to tell the story of the member you just saw last night. So last night, a lady that I served with, she is battling cancer right now. And she shared some artwork that she did while she was sick and learned this embossing technique of kind of, I don't even know to describe it. Yeah, aluminum metal art, and it was beautiful. And so the Spirit told me her story needs to be told. And so I texted her late at night last night, asked her if that would even at all be possible. And so we were able to make it happen. We went to their house, back to their house this morning really early. We set up the video camera and we videotaped her story, which is extremely powerful. And so look for that video. We'll be posting on Brightly Street and Bunabon, B-U-N-A Bon, the story of her struggle and her challenges, but her faith in Christ is outstanding. That's the one thing I realize of the Puerto Rican people. There may be few in numbers of members, strong members, but those that are strong, and they will lead the church as they prepare to build this temple and bring more souls into Christ. And so look for that video. I'm really excited to share her story. It's amazing, amazing. And so, anything else?
I think that's it. We have to get going.
So hopefully that was a little inspiration today on Temple Tuesday, and we're so grateful that we could chat for a minute here in Puerto Rico. Our vacation has come to an end, but thanks for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday.